Hello, friends, enemies, strangers. Most of you are strangers. Kind mothers. Welcome to my channel. This will be the first episode. So thank you. For now, I came up with I created a channel for it, a name, and so in a logo. So the main components that go into the name is Ātmopadeśa and Svādhyāya. So I added 3 other words: Guru, Gita, Yoga. So Ātmopadeśa refers to the Ātmopadeśa Shatakam of Narayana Guru. Those are the 100 verses of self-instruction. So Ātmopadeśa means self-instruction, whereas Svādhyāya means self-study. They're similar but different. Self-study could be chanting and studying, memorizing the Vedas, maybe. Ātmopadeśa is self-instruction. Maybe that involves an intuitive process and maybe meditation on the self with a capital S. Guru, Gita, Yoga. So Svādhyāya is mentioned in the Yoga Sutras. So I'll be looking at the Yoga Sutras or Yoga Shastras. And I'll be looking at the Gita. So I put Gita there. It went blank. And Guru is because there's teachers in this. Guru, they're bringing me from darkness into the light. Dispellers of darkness. So the gurus, the gurus are these books. And also these emails that I have to go through for studying. Let's see. So I'll be studying a lot from this book. That Alone, the Core of Wisdom by Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yati, right? And also from this one. This is also from the same Guru. This is Living the Science of Harmonious Union, Principles and Practices of Patanjali's Yoga Shastra. He prefers to call them Yoga Shastra versus the usual Yoga Sutras, Yoga aphorisms. He prefers to say Yoga Shastra. And it's only the first 2 books of the 4 books of the Yoga Sutras. Commentaries on them. Let's see. Right? Samadhipada is the first chapter of the Yoga Sutras of the 4. Let's see, chapter. So there's the famous Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga, breakdown, and commentary on it. So there you go. And at the back, there's some extras. There's a glossary, index, Sanskrit glossary, notes, letters to an aspiring yogi. There's about 13 or 15 letters. So I went through the first letter a little bit, but it's good to go over it again. But so I could go through that one. So Before I started on this one, I had started on this one. Neither this or that, but Om, also by Guru Nitya. Also on the Ātmopadeśa Shatakam of Narayana Guru. And here's another Guru Nitya book, the Bhagavad Gita. Well, he didn't write that, but his commentaries on it, along with his teacher. Let's see. Oh, okay, the translator of the Gita in this case is Nataraja Guru, direct disciple of the great philosopher, poet, Yogi Narayana Guru. So he studied psychology, and so then the commentator is well-known poet, philosopher, mystic, psychologist, and author Nitya Chaitanya Yati, one of the leading exponents of Advaita, Vedanta, and other systems of traditional Indian philosophy. He traveled for 8 years as a sannyasa mendicant student. He sat at the feet of the best teachers in Kashi, Haridwar, Panchavadi, and the Himalayan schools, and thereafter completed formal studies at several universities, while specializing in India's inheritance of wisdom. He's fully versed in modern academic thinking as well, with special emphasis on the fields of psychology, sociology, biology, and psychochemistry. So he's written, let's see, this one, that one, this one. This is a shorter version of this one. This is the longer version. And they're quite different in commentary. So 100 verses. There's a good, an interesting textbook on classical Indian metaphysics. Opens the door for all lovers to philosophy. Has been designed so that it can be read by students who know little about classical Indian traditions, as well as the specialists in Indian philosophy. Okay, that's a good one. And this one is, there's a huge work called the Yoga Vashista, and this is Vashista's Yoga. Yoga. I mean, it's summarized. It's a lot of stories, I guess. I don't know much about it, but and then there's this Krishnamurti. This is the Spanish version of Total Freedom, Libertad Total. It's an early work of his. I get the impression that he gave a talk on why he was stepping down from being a world teacher. So they see he's pretty young. He was groomed to become a world teacher by the Theosophical Society in India, but he stepped down from it, broke their hearts, kind of. But he went on to become a great teacher anyway, but not the way they wanted, maybe. But they still think of him as a theosophist, but he probably doesn't, or didn't. Okay, so here's another Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yati. This is actually his autobiography. So that's pretty awesome to see what he was thinking. And he also wrote this one. This is the Psychology or Darsana Mala. And I get the impression that this is kind of comparable to the Ātmopadeśa Shatakam. Also, I think it's by Narayana Guru, 100 verses, but this version is in Sanskrit originally. The Ātmopadeśa Shatakam is in Malayalam. So there's that, and it's grouped into 4. So maybe it's more organized. Maybe it's a later work. And I'm going to try to learn Sanskrit this year again. I keep trying, saying I'm going to learn. I'm learning Sanskrit, and I don't get too far. I'm still stuck on the characters. Ka, ka, ga, ka, nga, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ta, ta, da, da, na. I'm not sure the difference between this ta and that ta, but this is cerebrals and dentals and labials. Pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. Semivowels, ya, ra, la, va, sha, sa, sa, ha. Well, how do I know that? Because I had previously studied off and on Tibetan, and I only get as far as going over the alphabet and some things. So I actually got a real good book on learning Tibetan. The manual is Standard Tibetan, where you learn to actually learn a dialect of Tibetan. I guess standard means Central Tibet. Supposedly supposed to be the one that that has to be learned by all Tibetans, I guess. Because there's dialects of Tibetan. Okay. But they all use the same writing. And so I picked up another Sanskrit book. See how that goes. I haven't looked at it. The Sanskrit philosophy. Sanskrit, an appreciation without apprehension. Okay, so I got 2 Sanskrit books there in Tibetan. And yoga, wow. George Feuerstein, forward by Ken Wilburn. The Yoga Tradition, History, everything. Wow. So the yoga tradition is important. It's practically the Hindu tradition, seems like. And I'm also interested in Tibetan Buddhism, the Tibetan assimilation of Buddhism. And I like this because it's got like a brief chronology of Tibetan Buddhism around 650 AD to 1400. Important events. But I haven't studied the details. I also got I got this one today. Illuminating the Intent, Exposition of Chandrakirti's Entering the Middle Way. So it's by Tsongkhapa and translated by Thupten Jinpa. And I think this is the basis for Geshe Kelsang Gyatso's Ocean of Nectar. You get a Bible here. The Holy Bible. Fairly large print. Thomas Nelson. I got it free at a Goodwill kind of place. So, going back to this, so I'm going to upload this to this channel, Ātmopadeśa, Svādhyāya, Guru Gita Yoga. But that's a lot of words, so if you're going to type it in, you would put youtube.com/ I don't know if you need the @ but yeah, I could try it out and see if it works without or with. Ātmopadeśa Svādhyāya. Maybe I should even shorten it more. Maybe I should call it Ātmo Svad. Ātmo Swad. Maybe not. Leave it like that. Okay, so I don't have any content right now, but this is what you're seeing now is going to be the first content. But this will be followed by by me walking the dog. I find it interesting because that's when I was thinking about this channel. Like, I was thinking maybe I'll just, because I have another channel called Spiritual Pilgrim, and it's got hundreds of subscribers, I'll just rename it and repurpose it for this. But I figured, nah, I'll leave it the way it is. I'll pick up subscribers little by little. If I stay focused, if I stay on track and try to do the homework. So I got all this homework to do. It's by teachers that are teaching the contents of this book and the contents of this book, the Gita, and the contents of this book, Yoga. So this is on the Atmo. This is on the Atmo too. Ātmopadeśa Shatakam. This one is on the Yoga Sutras. And this one is on the Bhagavad Gita. Well, I don't know if they're following this version. There's a newer version of this one. I may get it. But it sounds like the teachers are be sending by email what needs to be read. So one of the teachers is Scott Tatesworth. The other one is Nancy Yelding. They're you could say they're advanced students of Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yati. And I also have another teacher from the same tradition, could you call it? Gayatri Narayanam and Fred Cantor. So I got all these advanced student teachers. So what got me interested? Well, October 16. Let's see if I can find. Yeah. I wrote to Nancy. I got an email word of what you're up to from Gayatri Narayanan. It sounds like you are offering some groups to study various works. I'm interested in the first two. If I can do both, that would be great. The Ātmopadeśa Satakam and the Yoga Sutras groups. Which one would I do? I'd do the Yoga Sutra. Okay, so I don't know if I can do both as well. I'm going to do my best. Thank you for sharing. Doing well. Doesn't pertain at all. My role is not involved in judging. I do not have... Each person is written responses every 2 weeks, which keeps the study lively and the groups engaged. Of course. Yes, okay, I'm glad. Okay, so I gotta respond every 2 weeks by email. And Scott is doing the same thing. So okay, so Scott's I got so let's see. Oh. Okay, so these are like the students that are in the class. So there's people from all over. Somebody in California, somebody in South India, somebody in Oregon. Gita class. So that's for the Gita class, the bios of the students. It's probably some 30 students. Oh. So, and in the Atmo class, I am reading this, verse 1 through 8. I could put it on this. Oh.
In the book That Alone, Guru significantly edited the first 8 verse meditations. The following is a transcript of what transpired early those first 8 mornings and includes the essential and powerful third evening talk. Verse 1. Filling the...
Verse 1. Okay, so here's verse 1. So there's verse 1 in the original language, Malayalam, which is 60% Sanskrit, I'd say. But it's a living language. Well, Sanskrit is an ancient language that is supposedly not going to change too much because not too many people speak it. Relatively. So, permeating the knowledge which brilliantly shines at once within and without the knower is the karu, to that which the 5 senses withheld, prostrate again and again with devotion and chant. And the same verse is in the back. In the appendix as may the chanting be commenced with the 5 organs of perception, turned inward and pacified again and again, prostrating before the mysterious embryo, the karu, shining within and without the knower. And okay, there's a long introduction, but in the commentary to the verse, there's maybe 8 pages on it. So within the verse, there's the word karu, and so maybe he might mention karu. The key word in this verse is karu, which is both definable and indefinable. It is ultimately to be understood as the absolute, the primal cause, the universal self, and the nature that is naturing. Its literal meaning is mold. The blacksmith uses a mold into which he pours molten metal to form a cast of an image or vessel. In a bird's egg, there is a kind of mold contained in its genetic code. Out of this mold comes the fledgling bird, which eventually transforms into an adult. Human beings also come from a mold that has in it the blueprint of the chromosomes. Any effect has a mold, its cause. The mold of an actualization is its potential. The mold of knowledge is consciousness. The mold of articulated thought is language. Words are the molds of meanings. The mold of material things is energy. The mold of energy is the law that controls and directs it. Thus, everything in this world, ranging from the most subtle to the most gross, has its own corresponding mold. The generalization of all these is called karu. Okay. Let's go back to here.
Verse 1. Filling the entire awareness of the knower, at once permeating the subjective self and shining as the world outside, is the manifesting self. To that, with the 5 senses withheld, prostrate again and again with humble devotion and chant. This is the first verse of the Ātmopadeśa Satakam of Narayana Guru. We are going to have a Svādhyāya, a self-instruction based on this wonderful book. It is not to be treated as just a book, but as the word of the Guru. Each word should be meditated upon with all profundity. First it says Arivalum Ariarinit. We are always knowing something, seeing something, hearing something. First, meditate on that aspect. Watch your awareness, the stream of consciousness that is passing through you. Identify your status as the knower. When you say, I know, I am the knower, have a full conscious awareness of yourself as the knower.
I know I am the knower. So, I'll stop here, but that's, it mentioned Svādhyāya. So that's one of the words I want to remember or emphasize, that this channel is supposed to be about a practice, and it's a self-study. Yes, I'm studying by myself on, what am I studying? I'm studying about myself and about the self with a capital S. So, yes, so that's with this book, That Alone, and Nancy Yelding's group, right? No. Yes. This came from yeah, so so these are the students that signed up for the Yoga Shastra class. So I'm not going to share what they say, but maybe I could read through it and find something interesting. Like this one person, so they're about 75 years old. They live in New Delhi, India, Mountain View, California, also, with his wife of 40 plus years, have 3 children, blah, blah, blah. He's delighted to be going through the Yoga Sutras, living the science of harmonious union. He had completed Nancy's Ātmopadeśa Satakam and Darshanamala online email classes along with Scott's Bhagavad Gita in the last few years. In that perspective, I wish to deepen my knowledge. I am really excited for seeing this journey of learning about the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras with the new group. So that's just one of the many students. It looks like there could be 15 or so in each class, since I'm taking 3 classes, 2 with Nancy, and which one of them is the Atmo, the other one's the Yoga, and one with Scott Teetsworth on the Bhagavad Gita. This is the Bhagavad Gita. This is an old version, but it's interesting things about it. Well, it doesn't have the script, the Devanagari, but it's got word for word the Sanskrit, right? And then it breaks down each Sanskrit word into the English, and then it's got the interpretation or translation, and then what? Oh, it goes through several of the verses, and then maybe it gives a commentary or something like that. So it's got the translation, And then, so it does maybe several, a series of verses, and then it goes through and does and goes through and interprets it, and interprets and commentates on it. So, and it's got questions and answers. Like, what exactly was Arjuna's conflict? In ancient India, there were two brothers. The elder was Dhritarashtra, king of Hastinapura, and the younger was Pandu. Dhritarashtra was blind, a symbol of the darkness of nescience. Pandu was white, a symbol of the brightness and clear vision. So I created this this channel for studying these things and focusing on just them. I'll try to not to get sidetracked and introduce other things, because I'm interested in many things. As you can see, I'm interested in Tibetan Buddhism. That's Manjushri. And that's a Vajra Yogini, right? Vajra Yogini. And there's a, I'm not sure. Could be a Chakrasamvara. And there's Om Ma Ni Padme. What's that? Hum. Oh, okay. Om Hum. Yeah, Om Hum. Om, white. Red. Hum, blue. Okay. And I'm learning some mantras. Let's see, what else did I? And you know, Tibetan Buddhism has a esoteric Buddhism in it. What is called Mantrayana, or Vajrayana, or Tantrayana, Tantric Buddhism. And so I'm interested in Tantra, but also Hindu Tantra, so inner Tantric Yoga, perhaps. Yoga, the physical yoga, perhaps came from the Tantras. And so what is this about? This is by David Frawley. And I have, down there, the Yoga Tradition by George Feuerstein. So what else? In the other channel that is more focused on Tibetan Buddhism, it's called Buddhism for Happiness for All. That's what it's going to be focused on. Indo-Tibetan Buddhism. This book is by David Snellgrove. So in that channel, I'm reading the PDF version of a book by David Snellgrove and Hugh Richardson called A Cultural History of Tibet. So probably I'll be reading from this one too in that channel. So check that channel out. Oh, I shouldn't be throwing books on the floor. So you shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, or you shouldn't be following me. You shouldn't be making me your guru? I should be making you my guru. So please help me and teach me by sending me comments and criticizing me harshly, if you like. Yes, I will try to listen to what you say. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, so what else can I say? Well, I got a lot of other books over there. I got a nice painting over there. Those paintings are mine too, over there. But those were when I was very small. And they're actually both oils. It's kind of fun to do oils, but I ended up doing acrylic. No, but that was done in 2012. Looks like it. Yeah. So, but I should. Oh man, I feel bad that I haven't been painting. So I hope in the year coming, 2025, I can get around to do some paintings. Yes, maybe do a painting of a Buddha. Maybe do some mandalas, some tanka-like paintings. Sri Yantra. Sri Yantra. Okay. So I'm glad you dropped by, and this is the beginning of a journey, but I want to show you that I was struggling in what to do. About 20 hours ago, I was walking the dog. That's something I got to do in about an hour or so when the sun comes up. So while I was walking the dog, I was recording like I am now, and I was trying to figure out what to call this channel, where to put it. I was first thinking, I'll just repurpose the channel Spiritual Pilgrim on YouTube and just rename it and start using it, because I already got some over 200 subscribers. So I'll just. But then I said, then when I got back from walking the dog, I sat down and said, wait a minute, maybe I could take this other email. For some reason, yes, I have I think I have the Spiritual Pilgrimage group at gmail.com, and it was just sitting there, and it wasn't it hadn't been made into a channel. Well, out of that, I created a few other channels, like Budismo para Todos in Spanish, and the other channel is Spiritual Pilgrim. Yes. The email is spiritualpilgrimagegroup@gmail.com. It's kind of long. So when you create a Gmail, they give you sign in to your Google account, and you explore YouTube, and you can create channels from that. But the Gmail account itself, I gave it a name. I forget what it was. Jamyang Pao something. And I just used it to sign in and explore my YouTube channels, and and favoritize them. You know, like my personal, for personal use, you know, not being a channel. But then I decided, hey, maybe I could rename it and make it into a channel. So I did that. So now it's a channel. Yeah, all I have to do is give it a name. Ātmopadeśa Shatakam Svādhyāya Guru Gita Yoga. Yes, it's a long name, but that's what I did, and I put a picture, and so yep, that's how it happened. And so this, I guess you could say, is the official welcoming and first video of the channel. And what follows in this same video is me walking the dog and trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. And lo and behold, it happened, but not the way I expected it. I hope it comes out good this way. I think it will. Hello, friends, enemies, strangers, kind mothers. I think I may upload this to a YouTube channel called Spiritual Pilgrimage Group? Something like that. Oh man. Let me check. I need to wait a minute. I need to oh, where's my other phone? My other phone? Where's my other phone? Here it is. I need to figure out what's the name of that other YouTube channel that I hardly update anymore. But it's had some success actually, so I should upload things to it and maybe change the name of it, repurpose it. What should I call it? So what I want to do is add content. Hello again. I got some rewards for walking the dog. A bag of poop. And hello friends, enemies, strangers, brothers and sisters and brothers, daughters and sons, mothers and fathers, kind mothers, all my sentient being kind mothers. Well, that's an idea from Tibetan Buddhism that I'm using to remind me of Lojong, training the mind and thinking of others. How to think of others. Okay, so I'm studying a load of courses. 4. Wow. Under the Nitya Chaitanya Yati school. I don't know what to call them. And I'm going to upload this to this and the other portion. I got kicked out, or maybe I got a limit to how many minutes I can record in 4K. So maybe I have to stitch them together. Let's find out. But I like how it looks in 4K. And I hope this audio is picking up well. So we'll see. It sounds okay. I don't know how the noise cancellation is. Maybe there's none, but that's okay. Oh well. So that's the way it goes. Here's my equipment, and I'm sticking to it. And this is being recorded on a Apple iPhone i15. So it's the first time I've ever had an iPhone. And iPhone. Oh. So oh no, he's eating grass. She's eating grass. That's Naya. So I'm recording this to announce. Yes, I'm highly thinking of. I think I should go ahead and say that I will be doing this. And I'm going to take the YouTube channel that has had some success way back 9 years ago, and then occasionally I put some things up a year ago or so, or two, and got a few views, very few. And so actually there's a channel or a page on Facebook that has gotten a lot of views and attention. Maybe a lot of people have followed that channel, but maybe I should leave it alone. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't use Spiritualpilgrimage, the YouTube channel, for this purpose. Maybe I should just leave it like it is. And put content. So I should maybe create a YouTube channel from scratch. And I'm thinking of calling it self-instruction. That might be it. How about the word for self-instruction? No, I'm using for too much. No. 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 So I should self-instruction meditation. I mean, I should call it like that. Self-instruction meditation. Well, it's also going to be studying the Gita, self-instruction meditation. Gita and Yoga Shastras and maybe I should call it Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya, Shastras and Gita. I don't know. Hola, Araceli. Okay, so it's got 6 minutes so far. 6 minutes and 23 seconds. So it wasn't because of that it's got a limit in how many minutes. Maybe I hit the I hit the phone in such a way that it shut down. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so let's see. So we're going to study. Oh, in this channel, I could also put. I could sometimes put things that come out of the Theosophical Society. So I can try to get that content in from that too. Self-instruction. Self versus the no self. I don't know. It's going to be kind. Neither. Om. I have to think of how I'm going to design the YouTube channel. So, yeah, I was looking at my other phone, and well, I'm not recording live to YouTube through Zoom, so that's why it looks good. Because through Zoom, then the video degrades, so this way it looks good. So what could I talk about? Let's see. Well, yesterday I had a meeting with a small group of Latinos on Zoom. Usually 3 or 4 or 5 join. Maybe at the most there were 6, but this time there were just 3 of us. There was the leader, the one who I guess facilitates or hosts and moves the and presents what is to be read. So okay. It was we were reading from book 6 of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, but in this case it's in Spanish, so it was el libro 6, el sexto libro de la obra Meditaciones por Marco Aurelio. For some reason in English there's a lot of S's at the end of the word, of the names. Latin words perhaps have that. But in Spanish the S's have been dropped. So it's Marco Aurelio. So interesting, huh? So we talked about, well, we read, I think, verses, if you could call them verses. That's the only way that I know of how to think of them. Well, they were numbered paragraphs. So paragraph 35 through 39. So next time we'll be on paragraph 40 of book 6 of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, but in Spanish, for a group under Stoic Dan's meetup groups or announcements. So he's got it every Wednesday from 7 to 8:30-ish. Maybe it's supposed to be an hour, but it always goes over an hour. So this one went even over an hour and a half. Maybe it went like an hour and 45 minutes, but it was good. Okay, so there was Jorge, Astrid, and I. And so it covered things like looking at everything in pairs, and with one extreme being macro or in large size, and the other extreme being micro, like atoms versus galaxies, you could say, or like a drop of water versus an ocean. So there was a series of them, and Marcus Aurelius kind of says, look for the source of this. Maybe he's pointing to a supreme being of sorts that he may have had in mind. So maybe I need to find like commentaries to the book by Marcus Aurelius. Perhaps there's not much commentary because he wrote so clear and to the point. He was not trying to hide anything, and was not trying to become too metaphysical. But I thought these parts were kind of metaphysical in that he was having one look for the source, like the universal mind. So I thought that was interesting because in Facebook I am having cordial conversations, and maybe I brought up the idea of a universal mind, and so there's a friend on Facebook that when things like that are brought up, likes to point them out as not as being unfounded, unreasonable, illogical, and unscientific, and there's no basis and no empirical evidence for it. So I guess you could say he's an empiricist and maybe a materialist of sorts, even though he may be practicing meditation. But he's very knowledgeable of these things. Now I can't find... Oh, there's the poop. Oh, boy. Sorry. Oh, no. Okay. Whew. Hold on. Come back. So, maybe I should point it to me. So, or maybe like this. Maybe I should get a stick and have it hanging up like that. Now, you probably get tired of me, so I'll just show you what's happening out there. But see, so yes, the session last night on the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, I interpreted it, or it hinted at certain things that might be considered mystical, and then Marcus Aurelius considered the man on the street, the idea of the man on the street, that if you're a professional, you would guard your knowledge with the man of the street. It's sort of like, don't cast your pearls to the pigs, or something like that. So maybe and it reminded me of a video that I saw recently that appeared on my channel, Buddhism for Happiness for All, recommended, I believe it was, and in my, YouTube might recommend some videos. Maybe it was in that channel, or maybe it was on Wake Up and Think Clearly. Anyway, I watched it. I didn't watch it all, but I watched the beginning of it because it had an interesting title. It suggested to keep things private, keep things to yourself, or try to keep certain things private. Maybe because we've been encouraged by social media to share everything. Like everything we do, be transparent and share everything to the whole world. Like, take pictures of what you're eating and say, wow, look what I'm eating now, or where I'm visiting. Oh, I'm here. I'm on a trip to this wonderful place, and so I take pictures of it and put it on, say, Facebook, or just sharing it on WhatsApp with family. So maybe, well, what I share on Facebook is more what I'm thinking about these days, and when I'm reading something, I say, hey, that would be interesting to share. So most of what I'm sharing on Facebook is sort of literary, not images. But maybe I attach an image to what I share. So the thoughts are not always mine, so I copy and paste something that some great thinker has said, and maybe I preface it with my thought, or finish it off with my thought, like saying, does that mean this and that? Or I state something to bring about some conversation. So some people may respond to what I share, and some will not. Some will give me likes, and sometimes when a friend that is very prolific, and maybe he has a stockpile of things that he likes to share that are designed to attack the idealist view, perhaps. Perhaps he's a physicalist or a materialist and a empiricist. So he likes to point out things and share things and sort of debunk them. So maybe he might debunk the idea of the 4 or 5 elements. And so maybe I'm thinking of responding to that. And maybe he tried to point out that this idea of a universal mind is very dubious. There's no evidence for it, and things like that. So maybe you could think of him as an atheist. But he's kind of in agreement with meditation in that it has promising benefits, I guess. So maybe he's like, what's his name? One of the four horsemen of atheism, but the one that meditates. Let's see. No, not Christopher Hitchens. No, not the selfish gene guy. No, not. But the neuroscientist. The neuroscientist. What's his name? No, not Steven Pinker. It's Sam Harris. Yes. So perhaps he may be. Well, he's perhaps. I wouldn't say he's a fan of Sam Harris or of Steven Pinker. He probably tends to agree with them, I would say. And he was very upset that Donald Trump won for 2024. And he just doesn't get how people could have voted for him. So I tried to get him to see that, well, it's the economy, idiot, even though maybe it's not a very good economic plan that Donald Trump has in store. Maybe it does favor the stock market and big businesses and billionaires, but like putting what's it called? Tariffs on Chinese products. More tariffs on Chinese products might make things go worse. Oh, and moving all, what is it called? All undocumented or illegal aliens out of the country might be difficult to keep the prices low on grocery products. But I sort of kind of agree that something better has to be done about it. Something has to be done about it. But hopefully it's done carefully with no draconian use of police or even the army. That's not going to look very nice. That's going to come out pretty bad. Let's pray that nothing like that happens. So, let's see. So, where was I? So yes, so the meeting last night with the Hispanic or the or studying the Stoic classic Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. In Spanish, that would be Meditaciones por Marco Aurelio, book 6, paragraph 35 through 39. It was very good. So, and then another point that Marco Aurelio talked about immediately after the one about trying to have some sort of privacy, or maybe trying to hide knowledge away from those that wouldn't understand it, would be This is a short paragraph. It talked about if you are truly in the present, you're gonna know everything. Well, I'm paraphrasing. Maybe you'll understand everything there is to understand. You won't need to learn anything else. Kind of. No more learning if you are in the present. Something like that. And what was the final? Oh, and then that was followed by something that was very Buddhist in a way, that suggested the interconnectedness of everything, the web of life. I said, wow, this monkish loyalist getting metaphysical on us or something, or mystical, or Indian, or on us. Or maybe it was evident from his perspective that it was so, or he intuited it. Okay, so let's see, shall we go? You want to go in, or want to keep walking? Okay, let's keep walking. Okay, so okay, so but yeah, so that was that. But what I really want to do is study real hard what I'm supposed to be studying. So I picked up 4 classes. 4 classes. And I'm kind of failing them. I'm behind. So I got to study them. And maybe I could have studied them last night, but instead I was studying something that is not under a class. So I'm creating my own class. So what I created last night was, so I started a new channel called Buddhism for Happiness. So I don't think this will go to that channel. I'm going to have to create a new channel for this content. But Buddhism for Happiness for all. So I used to have a channel called Buddhism for Happiness, and then YouTube shut it down because it violated some community standards of, I think, 2 strikes concerning sex and nudity, if I understand correctly. So without warning, they removed it. And they gave me an opportunity to appeal, but I guess it wasn't effective enough, and so they stayed with their decision. So there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, so I have to give up that. I'd have to hire lawyers to try to get it back. I don't know if there's a way. Maybe I could go to Twitter or X and see what can be done. See if I can recover the content. There's a lot of videos. But I think I saved a lot of videos, so I can use them to populate the new channel, Buddhism for Happiness for All. That's my intention for the coming year. So I think Buddhism for Happiness for All will do well. Well, the first video that I put on it, after a few days, produced some 20 some views. Maybe less than that, because some of those views were me going back to view it. So let's say 15 views. And I did publish it on WhatsApp and on Facebook. So there you go. There you have it. But I think this one what I'm recording now is supposed to go to another channel that has to do with non-Buddhist things. non-Buddhist. non-Buddhist approaches. Advaita Vedanta. But it's similar. Advaita Vedanta, non-dual Vedanta, could approach what Buddhists were thinking, meditating on, somewhat. What do you think? Well, it's the channel. I hope to, in it, be able to read into the channel of what I am studying. Although there's a problem to that, because supposedly it's part of the class, and as a student, or in the class, we're told not to share what is being shared. So maybe I have to think how to share in a way that is not revealing too much from the class, or at least keeping the content fairly private or difficult to surmise, to extract, to say, okay, this came from that class, because it's here in the email. So maybe I won't be able to read word for word content from an email from the class. So maybe I could look at it, read it, and then paraphrase. And I could suggest, so it was said, thus have I heard. I'm studying this book, and I'm hearing this interpretation. So what do you think about that? Maybe I could call it mystical in meditations and interpretations. Mystical meditations and interpretations. Mystical? Maybe it's too many words, too many syllables. How do I get it down smaller? Thinking about reality and the mind. Maybe something like that. Thinking about reality and the mind. Ways of thinking about reality and the mind. Ways about thinking. Ways about thinking about ways. Maybe I should call it Brahma Vidya. Vidya, Veda, Vidya, 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 Vidya. Om Vidya, Om Vidya. Kero Om Vidya, Om Vidya Karu. Om Karu Vidya. Something like that. I can't figure it out. Well, I got 20 minutes done. And the dog is eating grass, so you have to wait for it to vomit. Well, maybe I could go to the lake, or more like a pond, a big pond, man-made pond. But it's got some wildlife on it. Guys going to try to puke it out. Maybe it has to do that because his diet is not very good. I don't know. So let's go this way. Let's see what's over here. So, yeah, I don't know what to call this, this channel. Ātmopadeśa. Maybe to call it Ātmopadeśa, Brahmavidya, and Gita. Atmo Gita and Yoga. Yoga, Atmo Gita. Atmo Gita Yoga. Because I don't want to add the too much Advaita Vedanta content to my Buddhism for Happiness channel. Well, I have a channel called Spiritual Pilgrim. Maybe I could just change them. Well, it has some people that have subscribed to it. I don't know how many. It has some kirtan in it. Let's see. And I created let's see, what's how many? Let's see, I'm gonna look at the channel. It's got 322 subscribers and 90 videos. It's got a playlist. Well, it's got something on Manav Dharam, and it's got something on Tibetan, something on Jain, and some videos, and some shorts. Here si permites que empresas para entrenar modelos de IA. Short samsara. So I could have my content and the training of third parties. Maybe I could agree to allowing third parties to use the content to generate AI knowledge. So I can activate or enable a parameter in my configuration which would allow third parties to I'm trying to translate what's in Spanish into English. The third parties could use that to learn, for them to gather learning. I don't know. And I'm able to select which companies, corporations can use my content. I don't know, I'll have to think about it. So, take it a break. Man, know thyself. So that's from the Manavdaram and Shiva Guru's Guru Vidya Sagar Jain Bhajan HQ. Oh. Is this? Oh. That's like a playlist of things. That's not my content though. No, but that is. So I'm looking at this. So this is the channel Spiritual Pilgrimage. 322 subscribers, 90 videos. Let's see. Spiritual pilgrims are in a journey to knowing self and self. Please ask questions and we will get back with answers. And I had a meetup called Spiritual Pilgrimage. And that's the channel Spiritual Pilgrimage. And maybe it started in 2011 and it's had 85,000 visits. So maybe I should just rewrite the description and keep the name, and yes, rewrite the description and just add content there and see what happens, because it's already got 322 subscribers. It had 17 views for this video that I put up 3 years ago, and this one a year ago, and it has one short that had 20 views on Samsara. Did he get any likes? Yep. Yep. Yeah, 15 hours ago I uploaded well, not uploaded, I used Zoom to go live with a commentaries, the first 8 verses. So it's only had one person view it.
But with meditation, we can be aware of what we're thinking. And maybe that's all there is to it. That's all.
Let's see.
But we like to make special kinds of meditations, perhaps to guide us along and to have certain kinds of thoughts arise. Perhaps virtuous thoughts arise. The word meditation.
So maybe I'll upload this to Spiritual Pilgrimage and leave the name, but gradually change its direction.
That's more general.
I'll change the direction of Spiritual Pilgrimage.
Becoming familiar with virtuous
Maybe we could say, hello friends, I'm on a